Kia ora, good evening. A woman who allegedly stole more than $100,000 from a rugby club and used fake cancer medical documents appears to be moving her money out of New Zealand. Nicola Flint left for the UK when her alleged fraud was uncovered, and Newshub can reveal she has now sold her Christchurch family home for far below its capital value. Her mother-in-law is now pleading with her son to bring her grandchildren home. Juliet Speedy has this exclusive report.
Nicola Flint's house sits on this leafy, desirable Christchurch street. Its latest rateable value is $930,000. Its worth estimated up to $1 million, but it sold swiftly without advertising. And documentation leaked to Newshub shows it sold for just $713,000. Flint allegedly stole more than $100,000 from Christchurch Football Club. She worked there and her young children played there. Breast Care has also confirmed fake documentation which alleged Flint had terminal cancer back in 2017. Newshub has spoken to a number of Flint's close friends who say they now see they've been constantly lied to. One close friend says that in 2018 Flint told her she was dying and showed her a sad and distressing letter allegedly from Christchurch Hospital to Flint's insurance company. The official letter explained Flint's diagnosis of cancer. It said she was on palliative care with 6 to 9 months left to live. It was for her insurance company to access terminal illness life insurance benefits, but that she didn't know if she received insurance payouts. Her distressed friend thought they would lose her by Christmas 2019. But here is recent footage of Flint in the UK, 6 years later. The Flints have also left their 2 dogs at a Canterbury kennel, Nicola telling the kennel they couldn't come back to New Zealand because she was having cancer surgery, and their son was in ICU in a UK hospital. The UK hospital she named has confirmed he never was. Flint's mother-in-law is appealing to her son to bring the grandchildren home. She told Newshub, "Your wife's manipulation, lies and deceptions are never-ending. The mother of your kids has and continues to use your own flesh and blood to allegedly commit fraud. Is it not enough that you have lost your business, your home and your dogs? I cannot sit back and let the lies of their mother hurt my innocent grandchildren. What harm is telling your kids their mum is dying of cancer caused? What harm has uprooting their lives caused?" Sources have told Newshub the Flint home sold late at night by Harcourts unadvertised for an immediate sale, and that it was offered well below RV for a quick settlement, and only 1 or 2 people were allowed through the property. They said it looked like the Flints had left in a hurry. Newshub has repeatedly requested comment from Nicola Flint. Police won't comment either, other than to say they're investigating. Juliet Speedy, Newshub.
Tension in the Middle East appears to have eased despite Israel launching airstrikes against Iran. Iran played down the attack, saying it has no immediate plans to retaliate. ITV's John Irvine reports.
Iranian state television says these pictures show 3 Israeli attack drones being shot down over Isfahan, 200 miles due south of the capital Tehran. They also claim this was the extent of the IDF's payback. It happened during the early hours, and nearby is a nuclear site in a mountain. The local journalist filming this said all is now quiet, and that while the anti-aircraft guns had been in action, there was no damage done. However, Israeli media is reporting that the retaliation was more extensive and involved jets like these F-35s firing long-range missiles at an Iranian airbase. Back in Tehran, the regime's downplaying of this morning's attack was predictably echoed by demonstrators who chanted "Down with Israel" as they took to the streets. What they did not call for was Iranian retaliation, which it seems has been ruled out. In his weekly address, the normally bellicose President Raisi didn't even refer to the attack, and Western leaders apparently share his reticence. Their agreed line appears to be, "Don't mention the war. We just dodged." Israel's war cabinet isn't saying much either. The closest thing to an admission of responsibility came in the form of this tweet from a Knesset member who wrote, "Good morning, dear people of Israel, a morning in which the head is held high with pride. Israel is a strong and powerful country." Israelis were never going to take the Iranian attack lying down, but by lowering the threat level here earlier this week, and by giving the impression that nothing would happen until after the Passover holiday, Israel had hoped to surprise an Iran that had dropped its guard.
A man is in a stable condition tonight after getting trapped down a 6-metre deep shaft at a central Auckland
Free
work
software
site.
tools on sale
The incident
right now.
happened at Watercare's Central Interceptor project. Lucy Thompson was there as the worker was pulled to safety.
Emerging from behind the fence of this construction site, a worker is winched to safety by a crane, injured but alive.
Ambulance have described his injuries as status 2, as life-threatening.
Emergency services rushed to the address on Haverstock Road in Sandringham around 9 a.m.
They were moving a metal I-beam underground with a crane, and somehow the patient has become pinned and crushed.
It's understood fellow workers successfully lifted the beam off the man before help arrived. But 8 crews, including the specialist high-angle team, were needed for the technical rescue operation.
And we have a lot of underground risks here in the city. We have the CRL under development as well, and we're doing a lot of work in that space. So the boys and girls have done an excellent job today. The
$1.2 billion Central Interceptor tunnel runs for 13 kilometres between Western Springs and Mangere to reduce overflows in wet weather. Its construction is a joint venture between Council Authority Watercare and private firm Gala Abergaldi JV and is due for completion in mid-2026. WorkSafe has been notified of today's incident. Lucy Thompson, News Hub.
Donald Trump's hush money trial is ready to get underway from Tuesday. The jury has been selected for the first ever criminal prosecution of a former US president. Trump faces 34 counts of falsifying business records to make hush money payments. CBS's Robert Costa has the latest.
The full jury is now set in the unprecedented criminal trial of former President Donald Trump.
The trial starts on Monday, which is long before a lot of people thought. The judge wants us to go as fast as possible. That's for his reasons, not for my reasons.
The remaining 5 alternate jurors selected today complete the panel. They'll hear evidence and step in if any of the jurors drop out. The group of 7 men and 5 women weighing the evidence includes a teacher, an investment banker, and a corporate lawyer. The assigned 4-person is originally from Ireland. Emotions ran high, with some potential jurors complaining of anxiety. One saying today, "This is so much more stressful than I thought it was going to be," before being dismissed.
It is indeed possible that we may see 1 or 2 jurors who come in on Monday and just say that they have reconsidered their position and they cannot serve. You're going to get a lot of pressure, and you're going to see what it feels like to be pressured by other people.
Meanwhile, Trump has said he's willing to take the stand.
Yeah, I would testify, absolutely.
And today, in separate court proceedings, Trump and his attorneys were briefed about topics that prosecutors could raise if he were to testify, potentially including fraud, past sexual misconduct allegations, and alleged gag order violations.
Everyone else can say whatever they want about me. They can say anything they want. They can continue to make up lies and everything else.
An entire population of North Island robins may have been wiped out by cats, sparking calls for urgent action to create a National Cat Act. This would require owners to de-sex and microchip their feline friends. Alexa Cook has the story.
Caught in the act, raiding a nest of robin chicks in Wellington's Waimapihi Reserve. Several cats captured multiple times on different trail cameras.
Basically, it is wiping out the population that we have in our own native bush.
Lisa Whittle's been trapping in the reserve for years to protect native birds like the North Island robin that fly over the fence from the Zealandia sanctuary. But despite the trapping eradicating almost all of the stoats, weasels and rats, a group of about 60 banded robins have vanished, autopsies confirming that they were killed by cats.
We watch them for 6 weeks or something like that, and then they just disappear. It's unbelievable in a way that we've had that many birds. Then they don't even live to 2 years when they could be having a full 10-year life cycle.
Currently, just 8 of our 63 councils have bylaws requiring owners to microchip and desex their cats. In August last year, a Parliamentary Select Committee report recommended a nationwide Cat Act, which the government is still considering.
And what we really need is now the politicians to step up and take this and make it happen. So what we're currently doing isn't working and we need to do it differently. And a National Cat Act would provide consistency across the country. But also, cats currently are a really grey area legislatively.
Jessie Morgan says a national cat law would reduce the number of strays and make it easier to identify whether a cat is feral or a pet. And the Predator-Free 2050 strategy is being reviewed this year with a proposal to include controls on feral cats.
If we're really going to make New Zealand predator-free, we can't leave cats roaming around the country or our biodiversity won't flourish.
As for the more than 1 million of us Kiwis who own a pet cat, well, no matter how cute and innocent they may look, they're still an apex predator. So the more time they spend inside, especially at night time, the better.
It's a cultural shift for New Zealanders to realise that keeping your cat at home is the best thing for the cat and the best thing for the wildlife.
So our precious birds have a better chance. Alexa Cook, News Hub.
A battle's erupted over a derelict apartment building long described as a stain on central Wellington. The City Council last month voted to remove the heritage status on the Gordon Wilson flats. But as William Teriti reports, a group is now fighting to restore the old ruin.
This haunting structure on the terrace has been abandoned since it was deemed earthquake-prone back in 2012.
This building has sat empty and derelict for way too long.
Its heritage listing status prevented its owner, Victoria University, from demolishing it. But last month, Wellington City Council voted to remove that barrier to help fix the capital's housing crisis.
This has to be affordable student housing. There's nothing that students in Wellington need more than good, affordable, good quality housing right in the city.
And this week, the university confirmed it was looking to do exactly that, saying in a statement, "We will explore a full range of possibilities, including purpose-built student accommodation, something that wasn't possible while the flats retained their heritage status."
We know that we have a rental and housing crisis in Wellington, and this is something that the university can do to help to alleviate the issues that students face in the rental market.
But in the past few days, a group has emerged fighting to save it.
The building has really good bones, really good structure to it.
The Architectural Centre wants to refurbish the 1959 brutalist building instead of knocking it down.
We believe that it has lots of promise, particularly in helping to ease the housing crisis that we have in Wellington.
I don't want to muck around any longer. This needs to be housing now, and so the best thing would be the university to bowl it and build that student housing now.
But before any planning can even happen, it must be approved by RMA Reform Minister Chris Bishop, who is yet to make a decision. So for now, the old ruin continues to tower over residents of the terrace. William Teriti, News Hub.
Taylor Swift's new album, Tortured Poets Department, has broken all the records with more than 200 million plays. It became Spotify's most streamed album in a single day. And it was more than just one album, as ITV's Rishi Duvda reports.